Hi, I'm Don Rittner.
And I'm Justina Kostek.
Today's our last adventure in Sharon Springs, New York, along the Great Western Turnpike.
Sharon Springs was famous for almost a century for its mineral springs.
So let's see what all the fuss was about. We're going to explore the springs and the old hotels that once housed thousands of people, including the rich and famous.
So come join us as we learn more about history on the road.
Sharon Springs has several mineral springs with different properties, from iron, sulfur, magnesium, and even lithium. The first boarding house to exploit the springs was built in 1825 by David Eldridge.
There are several ways to get access to the various springs. We're going to stop at the Imperial Baths that replaced the Banks bathhouses in 1927 and taste some of the healing waters ourselves.
The Imperial Baths could provide 5,000 treatments a day for a myriad of ailments, including arthritis, rheumatism, and even gallbladder problems. The sulfur water could be taken internally or externally, and even imported pine needle oil vapors were used for hay fever or lung diseases, and it was patented by the Gardner family.
The interior of the bathhouse is now being restored, and many of the original components are still intact. The Gardner family built the Imperial Baths in 1927 with 43 bathtubs, private resting rooms, and 4 massage rooms.
Each of the springs had a form of temple or platform so you could get a drink. The lithium spring was famous for its calming effects and a reported cure for eye problems. The white sulfur spring was sheltered by a Beaux Arts-inspired temple pavilion, which quickly became a symbol of the spa community. Other drinking temples are gone, but the Imperial Baths, built in 1927, are now being restored.
Today, the White Sulphur Spring Temple stands out in the village as a symbol of Sharon Springs' former heyday as a destination for thousands seeking the water's cures. The bathhouse was purchased by a Korean company, and its owner, Andy Kim, is working on bringing back the bathhouse and surrounding property so that Sharon Springs can become a destination again.
Justina and I decided to explore the springs and try some of the water. The White Sulphur Springs Company was awarded a diploma and silver medal for its waters at the Paris Exposition in 1900 and at the St. Louis Exposition in 1904. Then again in 1939, the White Sulphur Company made the spotlight in an exhibit at the New York's World's Fair, which portrayed its waters, temples, and treatments.
Oh, my eyes, now I see! I can see now! I can see! The beauty of life.
Don't say it, because then you're on tape.
All
right, that's good.
Don't do that, Don. Don, my hair.
Tastes good, huh?
It's amazing. I feel like now I can see.
I know, I love it. It tastes really good.
It's for the eyes, Don. This water is for the eyes.
I'm going to get a little bit more right there. The Bangs House was built in 1830 and enlarged in 1875, along with the Magnesia Temple, made out of cast iron by the Daniel Badger Iron Foundry in New York City, and built in 1863, though no longer in operation. The temple, though, still exists. The cast iron Magnesia Temple and surrounding property became the property of Max Schaefer of the F&M Schaefer Brewery Company. As a kid, I remember its famous jingle, "Schaefer is the one beer to have when you're having more than one." The Magnesia Temple is in need of restoration and currently is rusting away. Sadly, a reminder of Sharon Springs' once prominence as a destination for tourists and those seeking out the healing properties of the water.
Schaefer Brewing Company was founded in 1842 by Fredericks and Max Schaefer. By 1975, they were brewing over 5 million barrels of beer a year and a top-selling American beer. In 1981, the Schaefers sold the company, and now the Pabst Brewing Company sells a reformulated Schaefer beer in niche markets. It was the official beer of the Brooklyn Dodgers baseball team from 1951 to 1957. After World War II, Sharon Springs became less attractive to visitors. Many of the hotels and boarding houses burned or were turned down, and many buildings were put up for sale. Also, this is the hotel.
No, this is a spa.
Oh, okay. Oh my God.
See a picture of it.
The Imperial Baths closed in 2002 as business dwindled and the hotels closed.
After our visit to the Springs, we decided to explore the inside of the Adler Hotel, now abandoned, but was the last large hotel built in Sharon Springs in 1928.
So here we are at the Adler Hotel. This is actually the second Adler. It's called the New Adler Hotel. There was a previous Adler Hotel in the lower village where the other hotels are located. This one was built out on a hill, and this was the last of the big hotels that were built in Sharon Springs. This was built in 1928, and it's actually the largest. It has 150 rooms, and it was last operated as a hotel in 2006. So it's interesting about this place was it was built by Louis Adler, and they were a Jewish family. When they were preparing to film the movie Schindler's List, Steven Spielberg actually came to Sharon Springs. There were a lot of Holocaust survivors that were here and staying at the Adler. So he came and actually interviewed the survivors to get information for the film. So it has a little bit of notoriety from that. But it's a very interesting hotel, and as you can see, it's seen better days.
Can we go inside?
Sure, let's go.
All right, let's go in.
The Adler Hotel sat on a hillside and was close to the famous Pavilion Hotel and Stone Mansion. There was even an elevated wooden crosswalk where you could go into the grounds of the pavilion. It's now collapsed. Like most hotels, it had a swimming pool and other amenities for its guests. But it has seen better days. Justina and I decided to explore the interior to get a feel for what it was like in its former days. Since its closing in the early 21st century, the hotel's been vandalized, the elements have taken their toll, and the hotel's in serious need of repair.
Where there was once elegant furniture and chandeliers, now is stripped of its elegance, and graffiti fills the walls. There were 2 stages in the hotel where music and theater entertained the guests.
In its heyday, the staff came up from New York City, where they worked during the winter months, and worked and lived in Sharon Springs during the summer months, as there was no heat in the hotels.
Many people worked at the hotel, including former mayor Ed Koch. And the cook was actually one of the Holocaust survivors, saved by Oskar Schindler, made famous by Steven Spielberg in his movie Schindler's List.
Many Holocaust survivors stayed at the Adler, and imagine the stories that could be told if the rooms could talk. After their liberation, Germany actually compensated the survivors and paid for their stay in Sharon Springs. While those memories of being in concentration camps would never leave the memories of the survivors, their brief stay in Sharon Springs every summer provided some relief, especially while using the mineral baths.
I am from Poland originally, so my family suffered greatly during World War II. Even though we're not Jewish, my grandmother was separated from her family at 5 years old and became a slave in a Nazi German home. She spent 5 years there and survived. Joined her family back in Poland when World War II ended. My grandfather, on the other hand, when he was a teenager, used to put his life on the line when he was sneaking in the bread for people in the ghetto in Opoczno. One time, he was on his way to deliver it when Nazis saw him. They followed him, and he jumped off the bridge into the river to escape them. He broke his leg, but despite that, he crawled himself home. He never stopped delivering the bread. He lived to be 80 years old. My grandmother is still alive at 88, living in Opoczno, Poland.
Hey, Justina, look. Stage.
There is a stage from the old age. So now existence and I are on the same page. It's history on the road that's got me in this mode. Exploring the hotel gave us an eerie feeling as we tried to imagine what it was like during its heyday. But the reality of what happened to the hotel was sad and depressing.
While preparing to film the movie Schindler's List, Steven Spielberg came to Sharon Springs to interview the Holocaust survivors who were staying at the Adler Hotel and taking mineral spa treatments. The German government, as part of the reparation pact, paid for former concentration camp victims to take prescribed treatments.
There's a TV.
The elevator. If the rooms could talk, those stories would make a great book. There's talk that perhaps the hotel will be renovated into apartments or brought back to life in some way. As we explored the hotel rooms, evidence of vandalism was all around us. This once elegant hotel was the talk of the town in the 1920s and 30s. It seems that every room has been impacted, with several even having grass and moss growing in them. We wondered if the hotel was haunted. In one of the rooms, we saw a beautiful printed dress laid out on a bed, looking like it was waiting for someone to go to a ball. We continued exploring, but decided to go back and get more pictures of the dress.
Try it out.
I'm not touching
I think it's your son's.
But when we went back, the dress was now neatly sitting on the chair beside the bed. No one else had been here during the 5 minutes that had elapsed. We don't know how to explain this, since we were the only ones in the hotel.
Hello, room service. It's for you.
Hello, Jennifer speaking. He said he would pick up the potatoes tomorrow. All right, just send Benny. Okay, bye.
Look at this. Looks like an MTV moment.
Very funny.
Let's check out this place.
Thousands of people stayed at the Adler and utilized its mineral baths, ate, slept, and entertained over the years. It is a shame that the Adler has been ravaged all these years, but as George Harrison once sang, all things must pass. Unfortunate but true words.
As we started to leave the hotel, we can only hope that someone brings it back to life. It would be great to see the Imperial Baths across the street and the Adler become a destination again.
Wow, that was weird.
This hotel, man, did you see that room of the dress?
And you see the room with the TVs, all the TVs look like an MTV moment.
This the Adler?
Yes.
We have reservations.
But it's 2020.
2020. This says 2020.
How could it be 2020?
I don't know, that's what he said.
This is weird.
Who are these people?
I don't know, but I think it's time to leave. Let's go.
Today, Sharon Springs is still a magical place with healing waters, creative people, and fascinating history.
As we leave Sharon Springs, we're reminded that this small upstate New York village has been the host to the most powerful, richest, and wittiest individuals, along with being an oasis for those who suffered the most horrific conditions inflicted on mankind. I suppose it's the yin and yang of humanity, a lesson that we still have a long road to go before we could ever call ourselves civilized. So, that was Sharon Springs, New York. We hope you enjoyed that adventure.
And we will see you again as we look for more
History
history on the road.
So this is one of the 5 of the sort of magical springs that's here, and this is like sulfur water. You can see the white, the sulfur.
Yeah, I see the
And I
white.
hear it's like really good.
Really?
Yeah, I'm gonna try it. Oh man, that's really good.
Yeah, is it
Yeah,
good?
you should try it.
Okay.
Go ahead, try it.
What the hell is wrong with you?
That's sulfur.
Dude.